win it today, this afternoon, back in the win column, finally, against a joke of an organization, the Indiana Pacers, 134-123. Bucks get the dub today, and it feels good. And it feels good. And you're not gonna make me. You're not going to make me feel bad about being happy or about feeling glad that the Bucks got a dub today. Because that's why, as your boy, Herm Edwards, that's what he said, wasn't it? You play to win the game. And the Bucks got a dub today, 134-123. Come on in the room. We'll do it today. Doc, for maybe 15 more games, is our doctor. He writes out our scripts. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. Creams across the group. Right?
Justin.
There we go. Somebody said it's the, I told him it was going to just be me and Justin today. Somebody said it's the all-unk broadcast, but that's not, again, if that was the case, it'd be JT and Justin, not me on here. But nevertheless,
I just get thrown under.
Nevertheless, we keep rolling on Selection Sunday. 134-123. People punching their tickets into the dance. If you just happen the Bucks got a dub, hit that like button on the hit that like button, if you will, on your way into the room. 134-123 was the final today. Got to see Giannis today. Got to see Cormac Ryan didn't play, did he? I don't think he didn't get in. But Torin Prince.
Can I pause you?
Go ahead.
Can I pause you real quick? And I normally hate to do this during your doc. But hit the like button if you're excited for the Guru's alma mater winning the MEAC men's and women's championship. That's a big accomplishment.
It is. It is. No, absolutely it is. Howard University going to be in the men's and the women's in the tourney winning the MEAC championship. Richard, we'll talk about Giannis playing and the injury and everything like that. We will get to it. Hit us. Get at us on Twitter at TCIIYEE. Get at us in the chat. We'll talk about it. 134-123. The final this afternoon is the Bucks beat the Indiana Pacers. Let's do a game recap. Get this thing started on a Sunday evening. Here's about 6 o'clock on the East Coast. Giannis was, to me, again, in 23 minutes, was still in a minutes restriction, got himself injured. We'll talk about it. I'm not gonna focus on the injury just yet. And what you saw and kind of what that means and my thought. I'm not gonna give my thoughts on the injury just yet, so I'll wait for a second on that one. But I'm just gonna talk about his play for 2 seconds. 31, 14, and 8. Almost messed around and got a triple-double. 11 of 22 from the field. He was a plus 17 tonight. I'll say this: aside from his defense, right? Aside from his defense, and I'm talking about on ball, off ball, I thought this is the most he gave from an effort perspective in a while. Again, 14. That's what I'm used to seeing. There's no reason you don't get at least 10 rebounds. No reason you don't get at least 10 rebounds when you're Giannis. And so I was happy to see that. Again, I don't think he gave the most effort on the defense side of the ball, but that's that's another here for another day. 31, 14, and 8. He attacked relentlessly. And then you saw that spin on, I believe it was Jay Huff, threw it down in his face. And then the knee did buckle, or I don't know what they're officially calling it for Giannis. I'm going to assume he's going to, I don't know what that means for him moving forward. But again, I'll get to the injury and why he's playing, because I think that's one of the biggest pieces in this is what people talk about is how is he playing? Shut him down. I'll talk about that. But Kyle Kuzma, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists for Kuz tonight, 3 of 7, 2 of 6 from the field, from the 3-point line, 1 turnover. Again, I thought great job from him facilitating today. I thought Kuz was good. Again, he only scored, 8 points. It wasn't like he lit it up from the field, but I thought he did a really good job just facilitating. He brought the ball. Again, in this lineup here, Again, all-stars outside of Kuz had 10 points. Turner with 13 and 4. AJ Green, good to see him hit some threes, 12 points, 2 rebounds. Rollins, 20 and 7 assists, 3 steals, 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3, 3 turnovers for him. But what I'll say is, I thought the Bucks did a really good job because for the most part, for the majority of this game, it was really Giannis and Kuz who were kind of really running a lot of the show offensively from bringing the ball up. Giannis basically played point guard for the 23 minutes Giannis was in. He was basically the point guard for all of it. He was the point forward on offense, running everything. And I think I am seeing now when I look at Rollins, and I thought again there was a moment I believe late in the third where Rollins kind of took over the game from really from a facilitating and playmaking standpoint. And that's what we want to see more from Rollins, playmaking. I know he can hit the three. I know he give that move he gave. He's had 2 really good games too. That move he gave Dyson Daniels the other day was that was again, that's the kind of stuff that you look to see if you're gonna be out there running the show every night. That tween headsy bang and get to the rim. That's the kind of stuff that you have to be able to do from a ball handling standpoint. And I thought today, Giannis came back. Kuz ran a lot of the offense. But Rollins, I think maybe it just takes him a minute to ease his way into the game and get himself, for me, Justin, I play football. I didn't feel good until the ball. I played corner. I didn't feel good until the ball came my way. I didn't feel good until I got it. Until if I could assist on attack. I was nervous until that happened. And so, one things I would hate, and I think I told you guys this before, one of the things I would hate is that first series, and it'd be like inside run, and a throw to the other side, and it's 3 and out. I'm like, damn, now I got to wait a whole nother series. I didn't feel good. I didn't like it. And so I think maybe that's somehow how it is with Rollins. He's always ready with the 3 ball, but handling the ball, it seems like is an issue at some point in time. But today, it felt like once Giannis had to go out, and then you had that backup group, and then you had Kuz there. And when it finally became time for Rollins to really take over and run the offense, especially in that third, he looked really good, really smooth doing it. So that's what you want to see for him. Taurean Prince, again, shaky, a little bit of start, but he played well tonight. 5 of 7, 3 of 5 from the 3, plus 13 points. And Taurean Prince is going to be important, ladies and gentlemen, because Taurean Prince, I'm assuming he's going to opt in. He will be back. He will be back with this basketball team next year. So make sure I am curious, and I'm always watching when I see Taurean Prince because I want to see him play. Because he will likely be a guy that you see back. Jericho Sims today, for whatever reason, he didn't have it. I mean, he couldn't catch the basketball. He couldn't catch the basketball today. He couldn't he had 3 rebounds. He probably could have had 6. Probably could have had 7, 8. But he for whatever reason, today was a day where the hand-eye coordination didn't work for him. Gary Harris did his bit of run around. Talk about, again, Cam Thomas, DNP-CD. Cam Thomas is now fully in the doghouse. Fully in the doghouse is Cam Thomas. He doesn't play at all today. And Gary Harris gets those minutes. I didn't think he did much of it, but again, he hit a couple open threes late in the fourth whenever he got them. But how about Bobby Portis tonight? 29 and 10, 3 assists, 2 steals, 11 of 21. He was 6 of 11 from 3. Bobby shot the ball well. On the Indiana side of things, Slauson 3 points, Jarris Walker 14 and 8. Zubac. Let me say this on Zubac. And I thought Zubac's his first half was good. Second half, he was, just dog shit. He was terrible. But Zubac, they better hope that Tyrese Halliburton is this big unlocking guard that does it. They better hope this wasn't like a fool's goal, kind of like they did with Miles Turner. And Miles Turner comes here, doesn't look as good. They better hope that Zubac is unleashed and unlocked by Tyrese Halliburton, because if not, you cannot justify giving up the two first round picks and whatever they gave. What didn't they give up a play and Benedict Mathurin?
Benedict.
Nah, I'm just telling you. Today I didn't see it. Today I didn't see 2 first rounders and Benedict Mathurin. But again, maybe it's worth it if Tyrese Halliburton is unlocking something different about him. But Zubac's always been a good player. He's a good solid player. He don't look like I would give up two first rounds at Bennedict Mather for him. He was atrocious in the third quarter. 4 of 10 from the field today. 10.7 boards. Neesmith with 32. He had magnet ball going. I think the first half he had that was a career high for him. I believe in the first half he had like 26.
26, 27, something like that.
Finished with 32. TJ McConnell, 9 points, 11 assists. He's just a solid basketball player. Jay Huff with 16 points. Obi Toppin put up 11. They had a number of other guys who did some things today. But a 134-123 victory today for your Milwaukee Bucks. I'll leave you with this, Justin. Again, I was just happy to get in the win column. I was happy to see a dub. I thought that, again, that it was that third quarter that really spurred things for the Bucks. Really, I think it started with Giannis in the midway through the third doing what he did. He got the big dunk. Then they had the breakaway where he stayed down. They threw it out to him. That was a big possession. And then Giannis goes out, and Rollins basically picked it up right from there. I believe he had a bucket. Then he had a pass out for a 3 to – I can't remember if it was Bobby. I know Bobby hit at least one of those threes. Taurean Prince hit a 3 right in that moment. Bucks got up 10 or 11, whatever it was. And then I know Indiana hit a triple clutch 3, left-handed. I believe I can't remember who hit that to make it respectable going into the fourth quarter. But it was a 40-point third from the Milwaukee Bucks that really kind of broke this thing open for them. And again, give them their credit. They then won the fourth quarter by 5 points, 32-27. Kept the thing rolling with Rollins and Bobby Portis. So I give them a lot of credit because, again, Giannis was out. And in that fourth quarter, Gary Harris had a couple threes. So a lot of credit to this Bucks team in that, without Giannis for the entirety of the fourth, and basically from the third quarter on, they won the second half. That's 5 plus 9. They were plus 14 in the second half, and that's what won the basketball game for them. But again, you've lost whatever it was, 7 of 8, whatever, and then you come back, you play a team like the Pacers. No Spicy P. They didn't have Nimhard. A couple guys, obviously don't have Halliburton. So again, and I know Marcus is gonna say, "Oh, it would have been an embarrassing loss." I don't know if I'd have went that far, but you were in a dogfight with the Pacers for a little bit, and at the end of the day, it was good to see the Bucks take this thing away, win, and get a dub going away. And making light work of the Indiana Pacers, who again have been absolute. Last thing I say about the Pacers, joke of an organization. They've been clearly tanking. I know there's a scenario where they could lose their pick. I hope they do. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve anything good to them. And I'm glad. We own the Bucks. We own them. Own that ass whooping. Bucks winning 134-123. That's what I saw. Just what you see.
Yeah, man. Like JT says, a lot of what you saw. What do you say? A lot of what you saw. And
yeah, that's it.
Hey, man, real quick breaking news. Your mighty Howard Bison will be facing UMBC in Dayton, Ohio, either Tuesday or Wednesday in a play-in game. So we got a little bit of that Maryland dogfight going on. So we're going to be cheering for those Bison. So let's get to the player of the game from the radio standpoint. It was Taurean Prince. He said it's always good to get a good win, and you can't string together a bunch of wins. So the guys haven't lost hope in this play-in thing, no matter how all of us Bucks fans think, without getting one. He said he put in a lot of work to get back on the floor, and it was just getting his feet underneath him defensively was his biggest struggle. And I thought he did a good job of that. I thought Taurean Prince had a phenomenal basketball game coming back as well. So Doc said they asked him about the dunk that Giannis got hurt on, and he said didn't look good live. And he thought he saw something. He went back and looked at the tape real quick before he got into his press conference and said that he's not a doctor. He's not 100% guaranteeing anything, but it looked like a hyperextended knee. He went back to the locker room for treatment. They haven't discussed the steps moving forward or if he's going to do imaging tonight. If it's a hyperextended knee, I would say that is all we're seeing of Giannis in 2025, 2026. Just my opinion, but we'll see. Then talked about Giannis' stat line, the 30-plus points, the multiple rebounds, multiple assists. I said Giannis did a good job setting the tone, and he was not on a minute restriction tonight. And if he didn't get hurt, he would have kept playing and hit his normal minute number. And Giannis was aggressive when needed. And he thought the Milwaukee Bucks did a good job of limiting turnovers tonight. And he wants them to shoot more 3-pointers because they're second best shooting 3-point team in the entire NBA. And I think they pulled that off tonight. A lot of different shots. He talked about the Bucks getting a lot of different shots out of the same action, which is always good because it makes it tough to prepare for the offensive sets for the defensive side of the ball. And then he talked about Nesmith getting crazy in the first half or whatever. Said we did a lot of overhelping, bad rotations and stuff like that in the first half. Second half, we did a better job of staying in front of him, and we kind of limited that. And that's why you saw a big first half from him, 5 points. Great defensive adjustments from the Milwaukee Bucks team. And, I know that I'm pretty critical of our defensive coordinator. I know some of the fans are. So we got to give him a little bit of credit for that second half. Thought it was a good job, even though we understand it is a depleted Indiana Pacers. Ryan Rollins is playing better. He's moving the ball well, and he's spending a lot more time with Doc in the film room, and that's allowing him to see a lot of the things that the coaching staff sees. And one of the things he pointed out was that Ryan Rollins is very young, and there's a lot of young guys on this team. So with the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of this season, you're going to see emotions all over the place, and that's a big struggle right now. Taurean Prince is great. He was missed tremendously. Having him back and some of the things that he did on both sides of the basketball today was absolutely a catalyst to this basketball win. And then he talked about, lastly, Bobby played well, let the game come to him. He could have got a few more shots up and chose not to get those shots up and continue to move the ball and get the right shot. And I think that's, I know that our guy Butchie and, some of you guys, you and Chris used to call him Black Hole Bobby. I don't think we've saw as much of that. I thought it was just a phenomenal basketball game, and from the aspect of moving the ball and doing the right things. I understand we're playing a depleted Indiana Pacers team, but like they mentioned on the radio today, there are guys on that team who are just guys, but somehow Rick Carlisle gets people to buy into his system. I don't get it. I'm not a Carlisle fan by any means, but the Pacers, not just a dogfight, bro. They were kind of handing it to us. We were down double digits to these guys, but we prevailed. I mean, Giannis showed today, this is why he's one of the best players in the NBA currently, still top 5. And when you see it, I believe this is his second positive as far as a plus-minus game since he's been back from injury. So that's a good sign. I thought Bobby was absolutely phenomenal today. I think I know some of the people in the chat last year during the playoff series were talking about how Obi Toppin is so much better than Bobby and all that. I don't see it. I don't see it where. And the difference is you could put Obi Toppin on his Bucks team. He'll probably do about what he did today. You put Bobby Portis on that Pacers team or any garbage team, and he's averaging 20 and 10. Now, he ain't going to play no defense, and we all know that. But Obi is better than him on the defensive end, but Bobby is a far better player than him. And last thing, we got to get to the same guy because he tries to come in here. What's his name? I don't even know how to pronounce this. Ezekiel 2055. Oh my God, we beat the Pacers equals best supporting cast Giannis had since 2021. So we'll start off like this. I'm going to stay 10 toes down with that. And again, for some of you who don't watch every dribble like we do, that's a reaction off of every game. Now, when they won 8 out of 10, and I'm going to push back on Bobby Portis because we lost to everybody this year, with or without their guys. But I do believe that, and what I said was actually after 2022, after the Middleton injury. And what I meant by that, that's also factoring in Dame getting hurt, guys missing and stuff like that. But I truthfully think when you look at the athleticism that this team has, this team should be a lot better. And I do believe it's the best supporting cast Giannis has had since the Chris Middleton went down with that. However, I don't believe we have philosophies and stuff like that that are working effectively with this team. And I don't think they're effectively working with Giannis either, because Giannis is not playing at this highest level right now. And I think some of that is due to the philosophies of the offense and defense. So last thing, Trey, hopefully the next coach that we have come in will exude this effort from this supporting cast and the level that he belongs playing at.
Let's and again, I agree with some of that. I don't know if I don't know if I'm going as far as the best supporting cast that he's had. Again, I think that again, I said it before, I think that they have there's like a skeleton of a good team in there. There's somewhere like Kuz is there. You see it almost every night. There's elements of a good player in Kuz. There's elements of a good player in Kuz. The issue is he's not very consistent. I think for the Buck, the issue is when we talk about, to your point, Justin, of his best the supporting cast. There's an element of it where you watch him, and it's there at times. Even guy that's been good for most season, Rollins, who Rollins had a most improved player campaign. Kind of, I don't think he's going to win it, but you could argue he's definitely should be in the mix. Even him, for 2 months he averaged 4 turnovers a night. He was for 2 months until the last couple games. He was on a pace where he was averaging 4 turnovers. He averaged from we're in March now, basically all of February and into March. He was averaging 4 turnovers a game, which again unacceptable. Miles Turner, when he's hitting a 3, he looks very good. Like tonight, 3 of 6, 4 of 7 from the field. Again, I think that's a philosophy issue. That I think again, I'm kind of gone in between on the fence on whether I want Miles Turner back or not. I've definitely have thought about it, and I wouldn't be mad if he is back, but it can go either way for me. But Miles Turner, a guy where, again, when he's hitting the 3, it looks good, but I think there are elements of his game that could be much better if you were able to play him around the paint some more. AJ Green, you talk about falling off a cliff. Fell off a cliff for a couple months shooting the basketball. Today, he was 4 of 7 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. A guy who, he's a sharpshooter, and he wasn't hitting that shot. Torian Prince was out with the injury. Bobby Portis, again, he's not a 29 and 10 guy, and he's never going to play defense, but I'm talking about the things that Bobby Portis does well. He wasn't always doing them. And again, 29-10 is playing above what I'm asking him to do, but Bobby should eat every night. He should be a 15, 16, 17 a night a guy every night shooting over 50% from the field. Like, that's what he does. And so the issue with this team is they're not consistent. They were very inconsistent all year long. And again, if you could bottle up some of this, and of course Giannis is out, but if you could bottle up some of this and have it be consistent, I would agree, and probably competent coaching, I could probably see where you can say, okay, this supporting cast could they win a championship? Probably not, but could they get something done where you're playing competitive? Yes. The issue was they were never, and I didn't even mention KPJ, who was out, and they were never consistent, whether that be health-wise or their play. And again, how many games did they get up 12, 30, 40 points and the lead was going like that? Like there were moments of it. There were moments of it. It just didn't happen. Let me get to a super chat. William Arrange says 31, 14, 8 in just 23 minutes, by the way. I think he'll be fine. Like Giannis didn't even want to go back to the locker room. I think if the game was close, he would have continued playing. Let's stop there. Let's stop there. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this because this is where I wanted to get to the Giannis thing. And I know my guy Will Lindquist was tweeting me during the game. I know he's at like every game. I think he was there tonight, I'm sure. And Will, and all the people who were looking at this game and you see it, how many comments do I get coming into me and just all the time where people go, why is Giannis playing? Why is Giannis playing? And again, valid questions. Why don't they shut him down? And I wish Eliza Jane was here, and she's probably not. But it goes back to how many times have we said it on this program? And today you just saw it in real time. They can't stop him from playing. That man, he's been injured all year. Clearly felt his leg do something. Looked at it on the ground, banged it around. And you saw it. They were begging. Please, Giannis, go back to the locker room. Please. They were begging him to go back. He was arguing with him, and I'm going to say arguing, I'm saying it loosely, because obviously it wasn't demonstrative or anything, but you could tell by his body language, it was I'm fine, no, I'm good. And they were basically begging him to go to the back. Even when he was in the back, they saw the camera shots of him still trying to get back out there. Again, they don't want him playing in Greece, and they can't stop him from doing that. So if you can't stop him from doing that, you can't even stop him from playing. You can't stop him from playing basketball for free. You think you can stop him from playing when he got $50 million coming to him? And again, whether you want to say he's auditioning for other teams, whether you want to say he's just so loyal, I know it's a loyalty gimmick. He wants to, whatever it is, dude be wanting to play. Dude wants to be out there. Dude's out there playing basketball, and they can't stop him. Like, they are trying to convince him. Giannis, again, I don't want to say again he doesn't run the organization, but he has a massive amount of sway. And when you have that much sway, you get to pick and choose and decide how much you want, when you're playing, when you're not playing. You can't shut him down. Or I'm just saying, maybe you could, but you guarantee he ain't. Whatever percentage you think there is that he may come back next year, it's zero if you tell him he can't play basketball. It's zero. And so again, I just want you to know. I hope people saw that and noticed that today. And again, it trickles down to everything. It trickles down to everything. All the stuff we talk about roster construction and this and coaching and that, who's the coach, it all trickles down. That is today what I saw. That is what I envision in not the exact same kind of a breath. Obviously not him, whether it's his management, whether it's his agent. That's what I envision it's kind of like working with Giannis. Trying to figure out, what do you want? How can we do it? Here's probably our best option. And, this is what we're looking to do. And he has massive, massive input on it.
Yeah. And I've been just doing a propaganda for, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Look, I want Giannis to come back more than anybody on this earth, right? However, from what I've seen these last few games, I don't want him to come back. And it's not because of his basketball play or anything like that. If he's truly hurt and he's potentially damaging his body for the future, then I don't want him to come back and risk it. And that's all it was about the last time we were on this joint or whatever else before that. But Giannis look, man, he is immensely talented. I think we all know that. But however, I think sometimes he can be a detriment to himself by pushing through. Sometimes with certain ligaments and stuff like that, you can't just push through because you end up setting yourself back 5 to 10 years down the line. And you see guys do this in the NFL and MLB, you push it back and you end up losing money in the future. You end up costing your team more games than you're helping them. All right, so let's fast forward to these last games since he's came back from injury, because we can agree, they said it on the radio broadcast, he's been a minus other than this game, right? I know he didn't play the Atlanta game. And we talked about this a lot before, and people were getting upset at us. And they were like, oh, you got to change the system to fit Giannis. But I think that it has to be a culmination of both. The system has to change to fit Giannis, but Giannis has to fit a system as well. And regardless if Giannis stays here or he goes, he's going to have to be able to adapt to a system. And if he goes, the likelihood of him being numero uno at whatever next stop he goes to won't be that. I think it behooves him to stay in Milwaukee to kind of dictate his future, but he still has to pull back on this. And he said it himself in the post game a couple games ago. He's 31. He can't bounce back the same way he does when he's 22, when he's 23. There's things that you could do, Trey, 10 years ago you can't do anymore. I know it is. Just check my 7-iron distance, right? But it's all good though. Like, we're in a good spot right now. I think the fact by him wanting to fight to come back there shows me that a guy that has not quit, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. No, my only drawback on that is I wish I still saw the same effort on defense. That's my only drawback is if you're going again. I agree that hasn't quit, but yeah, if you're gonna do it. Give me the 100%. If you're gonna be out there, give me the 100%. And that's what that's what I'd like. That's the only thing else I'd like to see out of him. But again, today he comes out, he plays well. And I mean, again, he's dunking hard over J Huff, and he hurt himself, and we'll see what that ends up being when the Bucks play again.
Tuesday against Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah, I got a feeling I doubt we see him Tuesday against Cleveland again. We just need to hear more about whatever this injury is and whatever it looks like. The other thing on Giannis, real quick, and again, we're not gonna be long today. But Justin, I just want to continue kind of asking you when it comes to Giannis, and again, because I continue seeing it in my tweets and people who've added me and everything like that. Like, where do you stand on, like, how I guess how open are you to trading Giannis? Do you see, like, is the pathway better without him, with him? And I'll bring it to this injury too. When you see an injury like this, and he's continued to be hurt all year long, he's played 36 games, and he's injured on I don't call it routine dunk. It was a big time dunk, but it's a routine dunk for Giannis to dunk over a guy like Jay Huff like that, and you come down and boom, there's your leg again. Like, what does that do you? I said this is something I've said before too on this show, and I say, and people, I'm not the first person to say it. People say it all the time. You typically don't get healthier the older you get. The older you get, it's not like you somehow find this fountain of youth that makes you healthier. So he's already been dealing with injuries. This year has been the most he's ever been injured. He's coming back from that injury and injures himself again. Does that start to sway you in the mindset of, man, it's probably best it might not be the worst thing to move forward and see what we can get, because I don't know that he can make it through a season and a postseason fully healthy. And the last I say on it is, especially when it almost goes especially double for Giannis, because the way he's most effective going 1,000,000% on both ends. If he's not doing that, he's not as effective. He's not as impactful. So like, his game isn't like LeBron can throttle it down and boom, here's my jumper, here's this, and I can beat you with my mind, and I can. That's really like Giannis's game is brute strength, aggression, tenacity, effort, intensity, hustle. And if you're telling me he's got to throttle that down so he can stay healthy, I'm just asking, do you think there's a do you think there's a do you think it would make sense if the Bucks say, you know what, he's not gonna be a guy that's gonna be able to stand on the court for me?
Is his injury to nasty or the nasty? Which one?
Yes.
A little bit of both?
A little bit of both.
That's why I laughed now. All right, man. So I think you know what I'm gonna say already. I think everybody in the chat knows what I'm gonna say. Chris King and JT watching at the crib, they know what I'm gonna say. Absolutely not. You don't trade Giannis. Never trade him. In my opinion, we've had grace with Chris Middleton and his injury process in the past. We've had grace with Brook Lopez. I think Giannis is a lot more valuable to this team and to this franchise than any one of those two gentlemen, and they were very valuable in their prime. I think we kind of wait this out. I think we send that guy up to Madison, Wisconsin. Seemed to work pretty well for Christian Watson. Seemed to work well for Eric Stokes this year in football. And I'm just talking about the lower body injuries. The University of Wisconsin and Madison helped those guys to get back on the court. So we got to get this, on the field in their case. So we send Giannis there, and we really have to kind of hone in. And this is where we have that come to Jesus meeting, right? We can't have you allegedly going to Greece and playing basketball right now. We got to have a significant discussion. You said championship or bust. You don't want a gap year. All right. We bought into that. We waived and stretched Dane. We brought in Miles Turner. We signed KPJ again. We signed this guy, that guy, whatever the case may be. We brought in Usman, the Us guy. We brought in this guy, that guy. We signed Cam Thomas for nothing. Now you got to fall into our philosophy as well. So we got to get you back, and we got to get you healthy. And we need a full offseason of just treatment and jump shot work. And let's see how you come back next year. Because I think Giannis is going to bring another championship to Milwaukee. And I think he's a cornerstone piece of that. And like we've said on numerous shows, if he's not here, good luck with it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a thing where you consider it, and I can see it both ways. I agree 100% on when you say that Giannis, you got to sit down this offseason. You got to sit down, treatment, rest, work on your game, and you need to, this can't be an offseason where you're playing a bunch of basketball competitive. Young City 424141 with a good comment here. He says Giannis just had the fewest minutes played in a 30-10-5 game in NBA history. That is correct. It was just 23 minutes to go, 31, 14, and 8. Again, no matter how you want to slice it, Giannis is still a very, Very, very good basketball player. Let me see. Kenny Mack says, "Oh, you want to live and die with Giannis?" You're saying, but again, the other thing about it is that it's a lot of money to give to a guy. Again, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy, and you have to kind of you have to figure that whole thing out. Really with his health. Jeff R_, says there's no basketball tournaments in Europe this year, so we don't have to worry about. Oh, there's no FIBA this year. I thought that was an every year thing. FIBA's not every year. I don't know. I don't know. Like I told you, international. I really don't keep up with it unless it's the Olympics. That's about it. I don't care about any of this other stuff they have going on. But so I can't. I can't tell you. And Valor says you can't. No one's sitting Giannis down, telling him anything. You literally just saw that with the game he just played. And again, you're right. The only thing you can do is hope that he sees it. So the only thing you can do is hope that he understands what he's meant to, what he means to a team, what he means to an organization. Mm-hmm. And again, but here's the thing: I don't think it matters where he goes. Like, this isn't a Bucks thing. Like even this whole thing. Well, if he goes here, he's gonna be able to do much less, and he won't have to. He had Damian Lillard, and it still didn't matter. He still had to go 110%. On both ends of the court, and got an injury there too. So I really, like, you talking about going Minnesota. He'll have much less responsibility. I think the only thing that really changes, in my opinion, is that he wouldn't be like, let's say he's Minnesota or something. He wouldn't be relied upon to initiate everything. But again, I think he likes some of that. But then two, is what the real change that makes for him is he doesn't have to be the guy with the ball at the end of the game. That's really what you had with Chris Middleton, was you had an end of game option, because if you needed a jump shot, if you need somebody just to get to a shot, they couldn't just crowd the lane and make that extremely hard, because you had somebody that could play one-on-one on the perimeter. That's, to me, the real big advantage of a guy like Dame when we had him, of a guy like Anthony Edwards if he was to play there, if he were to play in LA with the Luka, if he were to play in New York with the Jalen Brunson. Like, that's really what you're looking for. But I don't think that changes the fact that he's going to have to work extremely hard on both ends, and that he's going to be potentially injury prone. And again, it's going to be injury prone with 4 years, 270, and again, that just it's worse when you committed that much money to him. But you're just hoping that he's going to be able to do that.
Do you want him at the end of the game now with the ball in his hand, or would you defer to someone else on the roster?
It's funny. We had a couple. Remember early in the season, I believe, when he was in the game. Yeah, he was playing. It was Charlotte. And what was the game where KPJ? We won it, I believe, where KPJ drove to the basket, and I can't remember how. I think I can't remember how that one ended, but do I want him with the game? Again, he won it. Talking about in Indiana, the first couple games of the year, whatever it was. He had the game winner jump shot against Indiana. Again, at the end of the day, I say this: when you have a superstar, I never am upset if he's the one that's got the ball at the end of a game. I think what I like when at the end of game scenarios is you running an action to try to get it to him, versus he's just not the guy that you give, like Luka, 5 seconds left, 2-point game. You give him 10 seconds, you give him the top of the key, and Luka figures out whatever you want to figure out. I think what it is you're trying to get an action where he's involved somehow and get it to him, versus you're just going to let him have the ball and live with whatever the result is. Now, again, maybe if we're tied, I'm probably cool with that. But if we're down, I'm probably gonna want somebody else with it, and have them make the decision again. Hopefully, it gets to him, getting to the basket or something like that.
I think the biggest detriment in Giannis's growth as a perimeter and mid-range basketball player is, unfortunately, the death of Kobe Bean Bryant. I think Kobe was a guy that he could lean on, he could talk to, I think he helped Giannis grow with a lot of stuff in his basketball game. And I think those conversations, and you hear Giannis talk about it all the time, he extremely values Kobe. If you saw the thing about Giannis shopping in a sneaker store, they mentioned something about the Kobe sneakers. He right away said, we got to buy a pair of Kobe's. We got to support Kobe. And I just think if Kobe was here, that Kobe could get that guy in the gym and can help him. The only other guy that I can see that right now can help him with some of that game is Kevin Garnett. I don't know if he's still doing that type of work, but Giannis needs some more development in that jump shot range. I do agree with our guy. What's his name? Valis14. Like, hey, buddy, I'm not saying you're wrong, but for the betterment of Giannis Antetokounmpo, he has to sit down. His body is telling him, sit down. There are plenty of times, and Trey, I'm sure you've had it before, where you've been in the gym and you felt something and you're like, all right, I'm just going to go through it. You're not 22 anymore. You can't just go through it. You have to listen. And all you gentlemen in our chat that are older and all you people, like this little bit public service announcement, if you feel something in your body, go to that doctor. You're not bouncing back the same anymore. Get it figured out. There's all types of things that come from that type of stuff, man. But I just want to clear one other thing up from. He said, "Now we blaming Kobe."
Now we blaming Kobe for giving Lord for they know not what they do.
Oh my goodness, yo, those trades like that's so out of pocket. It's ridiculous. I really don't want it, dog. No, we're paying homage to Kobe for the work that he did with Giannis. That's it. But I think I want to clear one thing up. I got a question for you before we get out this joint too, Trey. I told you before we got on, I want to hear your not prepared response, right? We don't want to let you prepare and get your words. You know, the brother's a lawyer, man. He's ESQ. So if you get his boy about 10 minutes to prepare for something, it's gonna be crazy. I do have a big question though, because we've seen a lot of this Giannis stuff, right? And we see a lot of this stuff. The beginning of the year, I told you. I said this is Giannis's LeBron year, correct?
Yeah.
In terms of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to read you this roster that they had in Cleveland. And I want you to tell me, do you think, and remember, I know you're a little bit younger than me. You borderline unk status. You like big cousin still for a week or two, right? All right, so this is the roster. Just for all y'all that forget it. I want y'all in the chat to comment on this too. LeBron had Shannon Brown, Daniel Gibson, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Zildjioskas Ilgauskas, Damon Jones, Dwayne Jones, Daniel Marshall, Aaron Newbley, Sasha Pavlovich, Scott Pollard, Eric Snow, Anderson Varejao, and David Wesley. And you know what our Milwaukee Bucks roster is now, so I don't have to read that roster to you. Which roster do you think was better?
Oh, there's no question the Bucks roster today is better than that group. Delonte West went on that team? He went on that team?
I don't believe, no.
Okay.
I believe he was still knocking down buckets with Jameer Nelson at St. Joe's. Where they at, by the way? Keep going.
But yeah, no, that to me the Bucks team is better than that. I mean, but again, the difference to me when you mention that team, and Mark Gomes is right, two different eras of basketball. You are 100% correct there. You are correct. That's a different era of basketball. He says LeBron was 24, but again, the difference is that I would argue LeBron at 30 could have done the same thing. How was Giannis 30? I'd argue LeBron at 30 could have carried that Cavs team too. But because he was fully in his prime. Again, maybe not win a championship, but they wouldn't be bounced the first round every year. But again, there is, for as much as I love Giannis, there's a massive gap between LeBron James and that's the difference. It's not those other guys, and to me the difference is Giannis. It's not that Rollins is better than Boobie Gibson or Miles Turner better than Ilgauskas or this guy, our backup got better than Eric Snow. It's not that KPJ better than Eric Snow. It's not that to me. It's that LeBron is so much better than Giannis. That just is what it is. He's just he's a better bat from an IQ standpoint. Shoes, and then that's not a knock. That's not a knock. LeBron is what you put him first or second all time. He's one or two. So that's the difference. Yeah, and Monica says LeBron. LeBron is the only guy that could do something like that. I don't think anybody else could really could do that. So I mean, to your point, I get your point. But yeah, the difference to me is LeBron there. I do want to point out there is a
I agree.
1 second. There is an update from Giannis. Giannis says, quote, he's not getting any imaging on his knee. He's going to go back, go home, go sleep, see how he feels tomorrow, try to lift some weights. If I have a little bit of discomfort, I'll go from there. But as of right now, I'm not really bothered by it. Jim Warzowski also noted that Giannis stated he could have gone back into the basketball game, and that's from he said quote he felt he could have finished it. He did hyperextend it. He felt he could have finished the game, and he also won an and one. So that's it. And two, but here's the whole thing, Justin. This is what some of the things about I say about Giannis. It's like where you are. It sounds good when you say, "Oh, I'm not." What he said, "Oh, I'm not." I got to recognize that I'm not 31 anymore. That I'm not 25 anymore. I can't just bounce back from the injury. Well, you say that, and in the first opportunity you have to have that actually play out, come to fruition, first thing you want to do is you get hurt. You want to go back out. I couldn't finish the game. So you just told me a week ago that I got to be cautious. And now we saw you hyperextend it, and I'm back. Put me back in the game. So again, it sounds good. Is Giannis actually going to play by that kind of stuff? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I mean, he just really has to keep his physical health and involved for the rest of his career, whether it's in Milwaukee or it's not. But yeah, you could have went back out. I'm sure you could have. I mean, we saw you go back out on a knee that we thought that was done forever, and I drove 6 hours back from Atlanta back to Milwaukee. Thank God I didn't do that this past weekend, right? But I drove back because I was so upset. Like, why us? Why is it always us that gets hurt and stuff like that? So I just feel like uh, Giannis just has to kind of sit down a little bit and just keep his health in mind, man. As far as
Well,
that
let me ask you,
Cleveland Cavaliers,
do you regret it because you were gonna go to that game and then Giannis ended up playing? Was because you
which
didn't
one?
go because the injury report because oh no, that was Atlanta. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
lied.
that was
That was
Atlanta.
Atlanta. That
And
was
then
Atlanta. You're right.
my little buddy, I woke him up at 6 a.m. and he was like, "Papa, I just want to sleep a little bit longer." So we kind of let him sleep. Uh, the thing is, as your body gets older, you have to listen to your body. You cannot push through, and I think that's the struggle that Giannis is having right now. Back to the comparison with the Cavaliers, and we understand that LeBron is on a different level, but I said that this was an opportunity once we started this year, if you remember in the preseason, for Giannis to kind of prove that he's up there in that conversation. And it wasn't about carrying his team to the NBA Finals, by the way. It was just getting a playoff win with this team. And I think that there's some things that kind of came into play, which we're going to give Giannis an incomplete on that assignment because he can't control if he was injured or not. I mean, there's a lot of horrific stuff that he had and stuff like that. However, I think this is why LeBron has separated himself. This is why guys like Mike has separated himself. And this is why guys like Kareem have separated himself because I don't have LeBron as my top two, and we could kind of bring that up at a different time. He's number three for me. I think that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just doesn't get the notoriety that he deserves. Formerly, Lou Alcindor just did amazing things every level of basketball. But we'll talk about that at a different time. Giannis is a cornerstone for this Milwaukee Bucks franchise. Giannis has to learn as he gets older to adapt and to play into the system. And now the system has to adapt to play with him. So it's twofold, right? Doc and his coaching staff are 50% to blame, and Giannis isn't. And now if you look at since he's came back, he's a minus until today. And that just lets you know, and we talked about it, that Atlanta game, even though we got cooked like crazy, the ball moved a lot better. And Giannis can move that ball. And I don't know if this is like that stuff where he's not trusting this guy or not trusting that guy, but we need a guy in here that can coach these guys to develop them. Giannis going to have to buy into the system, and the team's going to have to buy into the system. And I think this team can be still a top 5, top 6 team in the East. And who knows how those dominoes fit once you hit the playoffs of 26 and 27.
Well, again, at the end of the day, I think there's gonna be a lot of different changes with this basketball team, and we'll see what ends up happening, top to bottom. Everything's gonna be reevaluated and looked at, and we'll like I said, we'll see. We'll see who returns. We'll see who's back. But again, I think a different coach. And at the end of the day, I don't care what you say about this basketball team. They are better than what they've shown. Whether you talk, I know you talk. Oh, is it the greatest that you've seen as far as supporting. I'm not gonna go that far, but I'll tell you this: it ain't the worst. It ain't the worst supporting cast. So this team could have been and should have been so much better. I want to keep rolling with this though, Justin. I want to ask you about for a second before we get to game balls and Twitter tanking in the NBA. Did you, you seen what the Indiana Pacers have done? We talked about it a little bit, and even the Bucks. I think I know your answer to it, but a lot of people have basically wanted the Bucks to clearly tank, to basically give up on everything, and they're upset that the Bucks won. What are your thoughts on, I guess, how other teams do it, how other teams approach it, and then what the Bucks, how they've approached it? Because clearly, again, they're losing. I don't think they're tanking, because again, if not, why bring back? Why does Miles Turner play today? Who had an injury? Bobby's been hurt or whatever, and yeah, why play? Again, I get you can't really do anything about Giannis, but at least some of the other guys, I know that Who's didn't play. So he has some type of illness going on, but why? What what do you make of this approach from the Bucks?
What Herm Edwards say?
Yeah, you play to win the game.
That's it, man. And like, I don't get involved with all this tanking crap and all this stuff. And I'm gonna go back, because we talk about Herm Edwards. Let's go back to the let's go back to football for a second. Just follow me, because we talk about Herm Edwards. Chicago Bears go into a football game against Green Bay Packers, last game of the year, not this year, but the previous year. They had an opportunity to get a 4 or 5 pick higher of a draft pick coming up this season, the past season that we just finished. They elected to beat Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers. You know why? Because there's certain teams you just don't want to lose to that's a rival. We're like it or not, the Indiana Pacers are a bitter rival of us. I don't want to lose to them on any day. I don't care if it means dropping 2 spots in a draft or whatever else, and you want to build for the futures. In 30 years from now, we might be this, we might be that. I may not be here in 30 years. May not be here in 30 minutes. However, I'm cool being the Pacers. I'm cool with not tanking. And when you got a guy that is about hooping the way that Giannis is, that doesn't want to lose, I'm with him. I don't want to lose. So go out, beat everybody you can. That's all I got.
I'm with you there. Like I said, I'm the exact same way. I could, again, there's a way to do it, and there's a way to do it, and to me, there's a way not to do it, and the way like Washington does, and the way Indiana, like I can't respect coming into it every single game and basically trying to lose. I can't respect that. Now, if you're a bad team, you're a bad team, but going out and like, again, I remember when the Bucks won 15 games, whatever it was. They came out and tried to play every night, and they just got their ass whooped. And again, that's fine. That's fine. If you're a bad team, you go out and lose. But to go out and try to lose, like it's the same thing with these football teams. Those guys go out. Yeah, you're not. Well, and again, it's one thing to. I know some teams will play a younger quarterback or whatever because you want to see. And again, that's one thing to actually see what I got out of a guy. But to be playing guys and. It'd be like if you had your starter and you played in the 3 quarters. Like, you know what? We're gonna put the young QB in the 4th to see in a tie game. Like, no, you either playing or you're not. So I don't respect what Indiana's doing. I just don't respect any of this stuff. And again, at the end of the day, I'm glad the Bucks go out and they try to win every night. And you let the chips fall where they may, and we'll see what happens in the draft. Super chat NYC Randy says, I just can't see him staying. I got to be honest. If he does, I think because of Giannis' injuries and mostly how bad this roster, I don't think we can contend. Also, Shea on the Bucks roster or Joker would also lose in the first round. So a couple things on that. I'll just address it. He says, I can't see him staying. Got to be honest. Again, I'm up in the air. I think again he's gonna have those conversations with. There's 2 things. Again, we have plenty of time to talk about in the offseason. But there's 2 things. He's gonna have a conversation with ownership, with John Horton, whoever's in charge. I don't know, and we'll see if they can acquiesce to his needs, and we'll see if they can get to a point where he likes whatever they can do, and we'll see what. I think we also got to see where the draft falls and all. So we'll see where those ping pong balls fall. We'll see where everything falls, and then at that point they'll be able to assess, and then and he'll be able to figure out. And then the second piece is. Is he going to sign that 4 years, $275? If he's not, I think your hands are kind of tied. But again, what I think the doomsday scenario is he says, I don't know. Maybe because he doesn't want to force. He doesn't want to see on the outside looking in. He's not going to look like he's forcing anybody's hand. So he's going to say what to me is a perfectly acceptable answer. Bucks fans may not want to hear. Bucks front office don't want to hear. But he's perfectly within his right to say when they ask him, "Hey, October 1, what you want to do? You want to say, I don't know. I might not." And that's going to put the organization. But again, I say this, and I said this before. I've said this before. That was how he should have handled it from the very beginning. Not all the BS back and forth and trying to do it. If he really wanted to do it and come out to me on the right end from the PR standpoint, which he clearly cared about, all he had to do was say, I'm playing through my contract, whatever. And I'm committed to the Bucks. Boom. And then you have this offseason comes up and you don't even because you're not really obligated. There's no obligation that I got to tell you a year before my deal is up that I got you the ones to sign me with a player option next year. So he 100% has the opportunity to be like, you know what? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might stay, might go, might sign, might not sign. He has that option. And then you put the onus back on the Bucks. And then if the Bucks decide to trade you because they don't want to go into a season of uncertainty, then you get this. You literally can come out and say it was up in the air. They chose to do what's best for their organization. And that's that.
That ain't gonna happen.
Okay, tell me what's gonna happen.
And this is what I truthfully believe Giannis does. I believe he signs the extension in October. The reason why, Giannis may be a lot of things. He's not dumb, and he makes the best financial decision for himself. Now, what we may see happen is he may sign that extension in October and then wait a few months later and force himself out of Milwaukee then.
See, let me stop. See, that's what I don't think Giannis. I don't see Giannis as that kind of a guy. I don't see him as a guy who says, I got 4 years left on the deal, get me up out of here. Like that. Now, again, that's Anthony Davis. That a number of guys have started to have done that. I think that's where, and it's so funny, the other guy who hasn't been like that, LeBron. All the moving LeBron has done, he's never requested a trade. He's never said, I want to. He's always done it through free agency. And so I just, sorry to cut you off. I just don't see Giannis being the type of loyalty, the type of guy he is to say, I'm signing for 4 years, $275, and you know what? Actually, trade me to New York. I just don't see it.
So here's why I see it, because you mentioned loyalty, and you mentioned stuff like that. So the Bucks value that they could get Giannis on a 1-year contract and trading him, yeah, it's going to be a good value, but it won't be a great value. And I truthfully believe Giannis will sit back and he'll say, hey, the Bucks can win and I can win. I'll sign that 4-year deal with the expectation that I'll be traded whenever I can be traded. And I think it's a good chance that he can he can go. He can go and do that and then be traded somewhere else. Would I be upset at it? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see Giannis who play for anybody else on this earth, but I think that may be in the best interest for.
You get a lot of text coming in. Hey, Justin got the bat phone on him. Boy, they blowing him up right now.
They're a little crazy out here in the streets, but it's all right, man. We're gonna make sure we keep the light-skinned brothers in style. What was I saying? Yeah, but Giannis could come back, and it could be more beneficial for the Bucks if they have 3 to 4 years to trade Giannis and have that under their belt. They could get more back from him than what they would. I don't see him, like, it just doesn't. It's not in his best interest when you look at his injury path to forego 4 years at 275. Like, that does nothing for himself, and I don't see how he gains from it.
I hear you. I just don't see him saying, I want this money, and then you're going to. I just don't see that being the way. I just don't see it working out like that, and I don't see him. I just can't see him doing it like that. I really can't, because you can sign the same deal again. It's just a 6-month wait. You do the same thing once you go to another team. I just want to keep going with NYC Randy. That was the first part. He then says, because the Giannis injuries most have bad the rosters, I don't think we can contend. Also, Shea on this Bucks roster. Well, let me go again. I'll answer this part too, because he says he thinks because of Giannis injuries. Now, Giannis injuries, I think, is a valid point. NYC, I can't argue back with you on that one. That is probably the biggest fear I have for if Giannis stays and really throughout the rest of Giannis' career, I don't know how anybody can sit here and look and go and guarantee he's again, he is teetering. Now, he's not Anthony Davis, he's not Joel Embiid, but he is teetering on the right on that edge of, yeah, he's of being an injured player, being damaged goods, of being a guy who is always going to be on the sideline. He's not, like I say, he's not street clothes, but yeah, you're starting it. I would say he is one season away from going, yeah, he's injury prone. And I don't like to use that designation on a lot of guys, but when you miss postseasons and multiple years in the postseason, and this year you play 30-some games, he's one season away. Like I was, if he gets hurt next year, misses considerable time, or misses the postseason at some point next year, I don't care if it's on the Bucks or any team. To me, I would probably start to say, yeah, he is injury prone. But that one. But then he says, I don't think we can contend, and I think that up in the air, because again, I think with a different coach, I think they are better than what they've shown. But it's up in the air. You bring a different coach, and we'll see. And he says also Shea or Joker would lose in the first round with this roster. Shea or Joker, I would say yes with this coach. Yes with this coach. I don't know about. If you bring a different coach in, I don't know that. But again, I say the same thing about Giannis. So I'm agreeing with them that, yes, I think Shea and Joker would also lose in the first round. I think but I think, again, for all three of those guys, Shea, Joker, Giannis, bring a different coach in. Let's see it. Because again, we're not playing modern offense right now. We are playing in the Stone Ages. We're in the Stone Ages, just like they crying up in Green Bay land about whether or not you need stadium naming rights on Lambeau Field. And I'm telling you, wake up! It's 2026. You better get some money out of it. Y'all crying about how much money you got when you can do some naming rights right now. Oh, my bad. I ain't trying to strike a nerve.
We don't need
Still sitting there, Lambeau Field. Man, wake up, man. Get them stupid. We're gonna set our clocks 15 minutes in advance.
Hey, we don't need it. We're not.
Come on, man.
We not like Panther fans.
Get them bleachers out while you at it too.
We not like Panther fans. We don't have to do that PSL BS and make you buy a Packers ticket and buy a Tampa Bay Buccaneers tickets. We got people on the waiting list for 50 years. I've been on the waiting list since I was 20, and I still ain't got my ticket. We don't need no naming rights for that. Hey, look, Ed Policy, open up the stock options, and you can recoup whatever money. We don't need that.
Pretend like there's more owners. Hey, we'll have 100,000 more owners of a team. Okay.
Hold on, be right back.
All right. Okay. We'll get Justin back. But yeah. All right. Bet. And then we got another super chat from NYC Randy. He says, you better show me. Oh yeah, you own part of the team. There you go. Part of ownership. Let me know when you make decisions around.
I'm just telling you, when you talk NFL to me, talk to me nice. I might cancel your Panther tickets going up there. You can't go up there. Especially in that little girl teal and black.
I got you. Hey, yeah, let me make sure.
We're gonna talk about Rasheed Walker in the look around too, by the way.
How you own the team and you ain't got season? You on a waiting list to see the tickets. It's a sham. They got y'all drinking so much Kool-Aid up there. You got a certificate to say you own a team and can't get season tickets because you on a waiting list for 50 years. All right. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. Hey, if you.
Is it green and gold Kool-Aid? Is it crimson and cream Kool-Aid? I don't know which one it is, but it all tastes great.
However it is. I got another one from NYC Randy. He says, Joker never made it out of the first round without Murray. Couldn't make it out of the second 2 years in a row without Gordon. The last three champs have been super deep rosters with their MVP underperforming in the finals and still won. Now, again, NYC, what I will agree with you on, and I can't wait to see what happens this year. I'm very interested in this year's playoffs because you have entered into what is, and we talked about this before, you were in the you go through errors, and for a long stretch of time the NBA was built upon if you had the best player on the team, if you had the best player in the series, you had a good chance of winning, and that has started to shift. We are in the NBA, the least era, where you need to have you need to have less bad players than the other team, and it's almost like the weak link era. And whoever has the least amount of players that are bad who are playing, that's now the team. Like if you have the best bad player, if your 7, 8, 9, 10 guys are better than the other team's 7, 8, 9, 10 guy, that's now the team that's winning in this era of basketball. So I'm really interested to see, because you are correct. That happened with Indiana, and that happened with again. Remember, Indiana was just bringing random guy. Obi Toppin was hoop. You bringing anybody in, and they just balling, right? And I'm like, damn. And so I'm just interested in seeing how this works out this year. And again, if you're not in favor of that kind of stuff, let's see let's see what Minnesota looks like. Let's see what the Lakers look like this year in the playoffs. Even Denver, to some extent, they've kind of cooled off as far as all the depth. So I'm very interested in seeing what it looks like. Daryl Clayton super chat says, can't see him pass on the money with the injuries. That's a good point too. But again, he'd be passing it for 6 months. So could he? The gamble is trade me in the offseason and basically past October 1, you got to make it. You basically got to make it. You got to make it. How long is that? Once you get, I think it's 6. Is it 6? Is it 6 months once he's traded, or is it 6 months post October 1? I'm not sure which one. It's either.
I thought it was 6 months once he's traded, but someone in the chat will correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, it's either. So somebody let me know. Is it 6 months? Is it 6 months past October 1 if he's trading the offseason, or let's say he's traded, just making it up, you get traded July 1st. Could you then, or is it 6 months post then? Somebody let us know. I'm not all the way sure. Jace Bucks says some Bucks fans who question Ryan Ronald's play need to be ashamed of themselves. He is the future of this team. This will be his team. This is the kind of stuff I guess. Okay. And I hate it because this is what I hate doing this, Justin, because I want to be seen as like.
Don't do it.
Huh?
Don't do it.
No, I'm gonna do it.
Don't do it.
But I hate. No, what I hate.
I know it's coming.
No, I'm not. But what I hate is being seen as like negative. Because I always hate when people are negative against their own players. Because I would never do what people did to like Kuzma and what people do to. Now I guess I kind of did to Miles Turner, but he's real bad. But like I never like. It's not that it's negative. It's the fact that like I think you guys. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Ryan Reynolds is an MVP. I say it every time, Justin. I hope Kuzma's the MVP. I hope Miles Turner if he's still on the roster, I hope Miles Turner averages 30 and 10. That's my hope. Is that I hope Gary Harris put up 20 a night. That's my hope for guys on the team. But what I start to do is I think people, but again, I get to being a realist, and you just look around the league. There are so many people who just have these performances, man, and I think people, even tonight, like again, and Ross is good, 27, 8 for 12, the 3 for 5. Again, his 3-point shooting. I think that the biggest characteristic for him, quality that I love, is the shooting. The shooting is what sets him apart from everything. He still has to go, to me, another leap in playmaking and ability. And again, you see flashes of it, but people start going like, oh, like it's almost like he's a perennial all-star. It's like when you call somebody the future,
too far.
When you call because to me the future of a team, and again, maybe it's just how it's broken down. But if I were to say, I'll give you an example. Justin. So my dad has season tickets to the Bucks, right? And when he has his season tickets, right? One of the giveaways, this is when we just drafted Jabari Parker. One of the giveaways was a signed frame jersey. And you got to pick Jabari Parker or Giannis. And Giannis has already been here. I believe he only been. How long was Giannis here before Jabari got here? 1 year?
Because we got him off the year. We got him off the horrible year, Giannis rookie year. Yeah,
right,
for sure.
Right. So you got to pick. You could either get the Giannis frame jersey or a Jabari frame jersey. And I saw Giannis year 1. And what he averaged, like 8 points a game. He wasn't nothing crazy. Yeah, he wasn't even starting at that point. And I said, so my dad said, "Hey, what you want to do? What should I get?" And I said, "Hey, you tripping if you don't get that Giannis." I said, because you know what I said? I said, Giannis is the future of the team. This is Giannis's team. I had in my dorm room, I was in college. The kids, the dudes that were sharing dorm with, you lived in a four bedroom apartment, and you had the common living space or whatever, and they were pissed because they had Lob City posters, and you had Kobe, you had all these greats that were, and I'm throwing up Giannis posters on.
What you had, big dog?
And they like, who is this? Why is Giannis? Who? They doing all that kind of. And I said, I'm trying to tell you who this dude about to be. That went so.
Can we let them brothers in the group chat?
Huh?
Let them brothers in the group chat from that old Howard dorm. They need to come in the group chat.
Hey, it's funny. They talk about it all the time. Hey, man, you told us about Giannis. They talk about it. And so, but my point is, when I think future, that's what I'm talking about. When I say somebody's the future of an organization, that's the kind of player I'm talking about. Ron Ross is. I think he'd be doing great if he could be your number 3. Like again, future. Chris Middleton wasn't the future of nothing. You wouldn't let Chris Middleton, as great Chris. What you gonna call him? Second best Buck all time, third best. I would never let Chris Middleton run my team. I would never let Chris Middleton. I would never give Chris Middleton the keys to a franchise. I would never have done it. He's a number 2. Chris Middleton and he was a top 20, 25 player in the league. He was a 2. He couldn't, if he was your number 1, you weren't winning up. It probably wouldn't have been as good of a number 1 as Jennings because of the type of a player it takes to do that kind of stuff. So I would never have, and Chris Middleton was great. I would never give him the keys to the franchise. So again, that's all I'm saying is when I hear people say future, that's when I go, hold on. What are we talking? I'm not even saying Margo says he's a great 6-man who can start. Right. He might, and I'm not saying he's not a starter. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hold on. Like, if you're saying that about him, what do you think? You must think that Stephen Castle's about to get a damn Hall of Fame invitation tomorrow. If you telling me this is and that's not, at the end of the day, that's not to disparage him. I'm just saying it's okay to pump you don't have to pretend, and maybe you're not pretending. I hope it comes true. I don't always see it. And again, the last thing I'll say, I'll let it go, is we will see, because he still has to beat the allegations. And you know what the allegations are, Justin? The allegations are, and I always talk about it, are you actually a good player? I'm talking real good player, or are you good player on a bad team? Because a lot of guys are good players on bad teams. But again, the Bucks aren't, and this is the first year Ron Ross has played well. So you got to play well and the team be good. For me to think you're really good, you got to play well on a good team. And I think he can be that. But again, I think it's okay to pump. I think this notion that you got, that if you don't anoint people this and that as soon as you see them, I'm not. I'm not. Again, my point is there's got to be something different. And I saw it in Giannis. There was something different. I'm not seeing. You know, I'll say this too. I give you another guy who I think can be, who I've seen some flash, and he hadn't even done as much, but I think his ceiling is like super high. Oos.
That's where I'll go.
Oh yeah, Oos. Oos has a. If people are, Oos has like this ceiling. Oh, I could see him being like. I can see him being something for real. And again, I just think that, I don't know what Ron's floor is. I don't know what his ceiling is. The best thing about Ron's is if you can shoot in this era of the NBA, when you can shoot like he can shoot off the dribble and even more so with that step back and also the catch and shoot, if you can do that, you'll play in the league for a long time. So again, he has that going for him, which a lot of players, he gets compared a lot obviously to KPJ. And KPJ doesn't have that three-pointer as much. He really doesn't have, and Rollins has that. So Rollins has like the thing that kind of gives you the longevity and what people like, and like, oh, he can get this rhythm and this balance because he can. There's some other things in his game. Again, I think he's a great young talented player. We'll see what happens with him. And I think he is going to be good. But I just pump the brakes a little bit when people talk about future and you'll pay if you were like, and that's what doubting what I don't think people doubted him. It's like, am I doubting the fact he's gonna be a perennial all-star? Yeah, I doubt that. I don't. And again, nothing has changed my mind that like, oh, he's gonna be a 6-time all-star when it's all said. I don't know that at all. I don't know that at all.
Nah, great points. Just for the whole Middleton thing, real quick before we get into Ryan Rollins. Joe Dumars said a lot about him as far as he had potential, but when you look at the variety of guys that are playing overseas and stuff like that, all those guys had NBA potential too. I.e., you mentioned Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker was supposed to be the cornerstone of this franchise, and it was supposed to be Giannis as the Robin. And however that turned into Chris and him. So, I mean, just phenomenal points. Ryan Rollins is absolutely amazing, man. Like he is. You see a lot of growth and a lot of good things for him. But to tout him or tout him as the future of the Milwaukee Bucks, I think that's a stretch. I think that Ryan Rollins can be a cognate part of this Milwaukee Bucks future for the next 7 to 8 years. The thing that scares me about Rollins sometimes is he seems to blossom when Giannis isn't there. And that might go to, look at me agreeing with Mark Gomes, first time ever in the history of it, but that might go to him being the 6-man player that he spoke about because he plays a lot better. Like, notice, when Giannis went down, Rollins was the one that picked us up on his back and kind of carried him. But to say that he can't be traded for something to upgrade and play better than him right now with Giannis and a win now mentality, and we're talking about keeping Giannis potentially, or some of y'all don't want to keep him, he's good. Nembhard's crazy. I think he's way better than Nembhard as far. But I mean, I think Rollins could go out and he could cook it. He could get his own stuff, man. But I hear you, man. Like all of our great points. I think Rollins could be here for a while, but we could very well see him moved in this offseason and end up being part of a John Morant trade, part of a whatever, part of a Kawhi Leonard trade, whoever the case may be. But his growth has been tremendous. And I think Doc kind of hit on it in his post-game stuff. He's young. So let's wait and let him develop a little bit. Don't just rush to the judgment, to the pay window right away. We saw that a lot with your boy, Thon Maker. And if you just ain't get here last week, Yi Ji-Lian was supposed to be the future of the Milwaukee Bucks. Handles like Iverson, shot like Larry Bird, blah, 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 blah. And the boy got washed off the court in 3 years. So
yeah, I saw. Again, I just think there's more out to be seen. But again, I'm hoping that it does turn out for the best. Let me get a couple more. I know there are a couple super chats in here. I want to make sure I get. Derek Clayton says, "Oh yeah, I got that one. Can't see him passing the money with the injuries." And then let me see. Derek Clayton again says Rollins is not a superstar. Again, it's crazy. It's crazy we got to say that. It's crazy. Like again, to me that just shows you how bad the Bucks have been. Is that people are grasping for anything. Oh my God, they looking for a savior, man. Joshua Sutton says, all I want is a fully healthy Giannis next season. Your lips to God's ears. That's what we all want. That's what we're all looking for. And I do agree. I think Rollins is better than Nembhard. Pick Luke says Rollins is better than Pritchard. And then Margot says, stop it. Is Ryan? You know, it's crazy. I think Ryan. I think he is better. I could give him Pritchard again.
Way better.
Pritchard has a benefit of an actual NBA head coach. Pritchard got head coach out there that actually can get the most out of him. They run the real offense.
And 2 all-stars on the roster. Yeah, and 2 all-stars on the roster that everything's keyed upon. Pritchard's had a couple offers. Like, I don't know. Maybe we see Ryan Rollins getting an offer. I can't see Ryan Rollins getting an offer next to Giannis, though. I just can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the offers. I forgot. Yeah, I remember. All right, let's.
Couple of them.
Yeah, no, I remember. All right, let's go to Twitter. See what Twitter is talking about. Let's see what Twitter's talking about here. I'm trying to find.
While you looking at that, Mark Gomes, pull up the last offer that Ryan Rollins had and who it was against.
Don't forget, Rollins just crushed Dyson Daniels the other day too. He tore his ass up. Pause. All right, let's go to Twitter.
Hey yo.
DC _ Bucks fan says, that was the all Unks post game. Yeah, all right. Will Linquist says, what a terrible game. Glad we won, but watching Giannis get hurt again and beg to come back in a pointless game, what a joke. Disgusted and really need this season to end ASAP. At Sunk345 says somebody should find the Pacers for this unethical team building strategy, but then says we should do the same thing and reload the next year. The Wisconsin kid says give Doc Rivers a 5-year extension. We are back, baby. NBA Finals, here we come. At Notions of Nick says enough ego ball. Shut Giannis down. I wish the team would just quit on Doc. Get us to May 10th. At TT Tracy 24 says Rollins doing well as of late, distributing and playing at a more under control pace. Good to see. At Moniker says Giannis has an almost injury every game now. At what point is this nonsense going to stop? He needs to sit the season out. It's only a matter of time. At NFL Takes 99462 says May 10th couldn't come any quicker. And last one, at Paolo Ampansa says one thing about Giannis that I will always respect is that he wants to play no matter what. He's not fake. All right, let's do game balls real quick, Justin. I'll go first. I'll do a game ball. I'll go. I'll make it easy. And I'll do two then, because I know you like to do one for I'll do one for Chris. But my first game ball is gonna go to Giannis. Obviously 31, 14, and 8 in 23 minutes, 11 to 22 from the field. Playing through injury, playing through all of that. Again, you love to see it. So I was just impressed. 23 minutes tonight, first time done in history, I believe. Quickest 30, 10, and 5, whatever it was in history for Giannis. Still setting records. So Giannis Antetokounmpo gets my game ball tonight. AKA Giannis, AKA y'all thought I was about to quit, AKA I'm still going, AKA oh my leg hurt, AKA no it's not, AKA put me back in the game, AKA I'll see y'all Tuesday. I ain't stopping. And then I'll get my second one. I'm gonna steal some of your shine because I'm gonna get my second one to Bobby Portis tonight. 29, 10, 3, 2, 11 to 21, 6 for 11. Bobby Portis, 29 in 26 minutes. So BP gets my game ball. Gets my second game. Gets the JT game ball. AKA, y'all should have been chanting Bobby. AKA, who need defense when I'm hitting these threes? AKA, call me Chauncey from Blackstreet.
Yeah. Yo, you wild, dog. All right, man. So, man, I'm going. I'm going, man. I don't know if they can see the shirt. Let me stand up a little bit. Big Bob on the ass again.
There you go. Okay.
So we going Bobby Portis. Got to support the guy. Just thought he did everything that this team needs, man. People that talk about trading him, I understand why you do it because of the contract and the economic standpoint, but you really saw the value that he brings to this team. And when he hitting that thing, no pause, it's good money. So AKA Big Bob, AKA the real mayor, AKA Obi who? AKA where he go to college at? AKA my college is in the NCAA tournament. Is Obi's? Second one. That's tough, man, because I feel like the easy way to go is to Giannis, but I'm going to go to my guy Double R, Ryan Rollins, man. I thought he did a great job playing basketball today, playing defense, playing offense, picking us up when Giannis went down, and he made sure that we got in the right winning position tonight. And maybe that films with Doc is it. Maybe it's just Ryan is like, hey, I'm going to prove these people wrong. So, AKA Double R, AKA future 6-time All-Star, AKA trade me for who, AKA best guard in Bucks history, AKA no bullshit. Ryan Rollins the hooper, though, and he balled tonight, and that's what we got to do.
He absolutely did, and that's what you want to see more of for him. And again, I think he'll be back next year. He has a great contract. And again, unless something crazy happens, I would expect that Ryan Rollins is back in Milwaukee. All right, tons of games happened today already. 134-123 Bucks win. Raptors beat the Pistons tonight, 119-108. Was anybody out? Let me see. No, Cade played. Cade had 33-9 during 20 points. Tobias Harris with 21. But you had 34 from Ingram, 27 from Barrett, 21 and 16 from Portal, Jakob Portal, and then Scotty Barnes, 14, 10, and 8. Again, I say this about Toronto. Very good win. That's kind of stuff like I don't. There's no way they're gonna be able to win. There's no way they can do that. Brandon Ingram's not a 34 night guy. Scotty Barnes 14, 10, and 8. Jakob Pearl's not going 21 and 18, and Barrett's not going 20, 27. Is like that's an abnormal performance. Like I don't think Raptors are really contenders because I don't think they can't replicate that on a nightly basis. Dallas gets the dub over Cleveland. Oh, look at it. I can't tell people where my mentions the other. Chris Middleton with 35. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists tonight. Man, shut up. I'll take Chris Middleton back right now. I'll take Chris Middleton. 5 points. 5 points tonight for Chris Middleton. 1 of 4 from 3, 2 of 9 from the field. Shut up. Let it go. He's washed. Cook. Put a fork in him. He's done. They do beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm just saying, I get sick. That's people someone has one good game and it's the whole shut up. All right. Thunder beat the T-Wolves tonight, 116-103. You still have Warriors Knicks coming up tonight, and then the 76ers are up right now with the Blazers 76-68. Let me see. That's everything. I didn't check out the selection Sunday, so I don't know who's going where. I know you said Howard is in the 16 game out in Dayton against UMBC. I saw some stuff where people were upset about. Was it Duke that they thought is going to have a tough pathway, and Arizona has an easy one or something like that?
Well, I don't know how easy Arizona is because I can't wait for JT to get back on the show because you got Wisconsin in that bracket playing a little bit of the hometown homies for you, man. Wisconsin 5-12 against Howard. I mean, Lord have mercy. High Point.
Okay.
Me. You got that?
Let me see. Also, don't forget again. We'll have a ton of people in the chat, but we will put out the Creature Crossover Bracket Challenge. Obviously, $10 ahead. $10 ahead. It should be fun. So again, make sure you join that this year. Yeah, we'll have some fun. Again, I think so. We should be able to. I think Chris King will be back on Tuesday. So hopefully, we'll be able to put out a link in the chat. If not, again, follow me on Twitter at TCIIYEEE. I'll put out a bracket. I'll give you all the information on how you can send me on how to send me the money, where you can send it to. And again, please send your make sure you send your bracket name to me with the money. Send your bracket. That's the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing about last year. Send your bracket name. Otherwise, it just gets way too hard trying to keep up with who did what, who sent what. Send your bracket name. Derek Clayton says he's coming for the top spot. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Should be fun.
Who got the top spot last year?
I can't. Your girl's husband. Oh man, I can't remember. Gene Dursey. You know Gene Dursey on Twitter. So her husband won. I think he sent a couple brackets. Again, do as many brackets as you want. All good.
$10 per bracket.
$10 per bracket. Yeah, but $10 per bracket. And then I think I'm gonna do 2. I think I'm gonna do a bracket where I just do one. I'm probably do an AI bracket and see what I can do from AI. See if AI can get me a dub. Derek Clay said he got second place last year. Okay. Huh?
Oh, nice, DC. Yeah, man, you got to get in there on this bracket stuff, though, man. You got to, I mean, it's something to beat me. It's something to beat Trey. It's something to beat JT. But you really cooking with some gas if you beat Chris King.
Yeah, I know he's sick. Them Dayton Flyers lost the A10 title game to VCU. VCU's won like 3 out of the last 4, right? A10 titles, so.
But Dayton had a hell of a run. They had no shot in hell to get into the tournament and went all the way to that buzzer beater in the semifinals. Absolutely amazing basketball. It's I don't know what they do here, if they fire your guy, AG, adjustments at halftime or what's going on, but it's going to be interesting, man. But you got to you got to stay tuned in. And guess what? We got a lottery pick, so it might be some guys you're watching that's going to be there. I'm for the guy that no one mentions, Zach Cleveland. I want to pass first guy with Giannis, man. I want a guy that's going to come out there and he's going to kind of Jason Kidd-like guy, 6'8" build, et cetera, et cetera. That's who my vote is too. But no one mentions him in the draft stuff, so maybe we get him in the second round, potentially, depending on who our GM is.
That's a good point. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I was saying that's a good point. There's gonna be some guys that in a draft I'm definitely gonna want to check out, see where the Bucks land and see if they're gonna be good players for the Bucks. I thought the Bucks were gonna be a little bit better. A guy I really like, and he's out of Charlotte, Isaiah Evans for Duke. But I think I don't think he's again. If the Bucks are picking top 10, I don't think Isaiah Evans is a top 10 guy. But again, I thought the Bucks were gonna be in the play. I thought it'd be a little better. I think if you're anywhere past like 16, Isaiah Evans can shoot the three, play a little defense, good motor on him, got a lot of bravado. I like Isaiah Evans out of Duke, but again, he's probably gonna be a guy 15 and beyond. I would think at least.
And you see a lot of that with those Duke guys that go early second round, late. Like you look at the Charlotte Hornets with Zion James and stuff like that. James or Jones?
Jones, I think. But he went like he didn't go
second round.
He went second round?
Like early second round, though, almost like late first round, early second round guy, man. Like he's
James, Zion James.
Yeah, he can hoop, man. And he's a great addition.
Yeah, he was 33rd pick in second round. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so great. That's low key on the cusp of first round, but we gotta get better at drafting. And no disrespect to Horst or anybody else in the Bucks organization, but I think it's like the same thing when you're looking at this Glenn Doc Rivers situation. All Bucks fans, I don't care where you are. I even got some folks that are Marquette alum, undergrad, grad, etc. We love Doc, but it's time. And the same thing with the drafting. We love John Horst, but if you're not going to get great with this drafting, we're in trouble as a franchise.
Yep. Yeah, no, there's no question about it. There's no question at all that Bucks are in some trouble if they can't get the draft right. And again, you can have a top 10, top 12, whatever the pick is this year, so you don't have no excuses. Can't say, oh, it was a back. We'd say, I'll give him excuses. Well, he didn't have good picks. He was back in the first. No, if you're in the lottery, you should be able to get you a good pick. And I'm not going to take any excuse if you don't get a guy that can come in and contribute right away to production. Anything else, Justin, before we get up out of here?
Oh, yeah. We ready.
What you got?
You got to get ready. You see the cap, U.S. joint. You see the Bryce Terang hanging back there. We got to beat the Dominican Republic. Listen, Dominican Republic, we love you. You're phenomenal country.
Me no black. I'm Dominican. Me no black. I'm Dominican.
Hey, I hear you. It's phenomenal country, man. Probably the best country to visit. But we got to send you home, man. And like when you look at Paul Skeens tonight, what he's going against
Is it tonight?
Death Row. Oh, it's tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
Minutes. And he's going against a murderer's row tonight, but he has to do it. He's a guy. We got our guys from the U.S., man, the judge we trust. I got to cheer for two stupid-ass Chicago Cubs, but we going to do it, man. And be ready for that Cream City curveball, man. Pipe bomb coming with it. I'm going to come with it. We're going to give you that Brewer stuff every day. We're going to get the guru to pop in there a little bit because we ain't got no baseball here in North Carolina, so he a Brewers fan. Got to do it. But we got to talk about one other thing before we get up out of here, man. I'm going to let you go first.
What's that?
I'm going to defer to let's talk about this free agency stuff because we've been arguing back and forth on that. So, let's see what the people say and what our fans say and all that stuff, man. And I'm going to let you know how I'm feeling.
Like I said, for me, and again, I ain't been outside of Panther stuff. I ain't been too deep in it, but I like to get the basketball stuff in before I really dive all the way in. But again, I think the Panthers had a great, had an excellent free agency. Again, Jay, you addressed, and this is why I like Dan Morgan. Address all the needs. You addressed every single need that the Panthers had. Again, we couldn't get no pressure. You got to think about that playoff game against the LA Rams. And the reason they won, again, we went down and had 2 minutes Too many. All you gotta do is get one stop, and you win the game. You're not able to do it, and half the reason is because you got Matthew Stafford sitting back there like a statue. I mean, you couldn't get no pressure, you couldn't get anything, and so you get Jalen Phillips off the edge now to be able to help with that. And then you get your boy Lloyd from linebackers. I'm ass. I mean, again, Christian Roseboom. We were supposed to have Josie Jewell. He retired. I believe he got hurt. I can't remember if he retired or just didn't end up playing. We played with basically a backup linebacker crew. So you address that. You needed to do that. It's a good thing we brought back Nick Scott. I saw today who had a decent year at safety this year too. And then we go get your boy.
Run.
Yeah, we go get your boy. Because again, you had Icky who. Icky, who I can't remember what he tore. He tore his pec or he tore something in the playoff. He came back to play the playoff game against the Rams. Tore something, I believe, in his chest. And so you needed to tackle. And a lot of people, and this is why. What's the man's name? I forgot his name. What's his name?
The dude for the Packers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Walker. The reason I liked that we got, I know you was joking about it, but the reason I like we got him is because you had a lot of Panthers pundits. You had a lot of people, again, I'm listening to local radio here, and a lot of people were saying, oh, that means you got to draft, a tackle. I think we're picking 16, 19 or whatever. Oh, you got to draft a tackle. And I'm like, you draft a left tackle to protect Bryce's blind side. He's not, you're reaching. Unless you have a guy that's a true top 10 guy that you think is a cornerstone, you're just drafting tackle to draft tackle, and you're reaching. And I'd rather not reach. I'd rather get a guy who I know. I'd rather not reach. I'd rather get a player. I'd rather go BPA right there because you have issues that you need to get addressed. And again, I thought we were going to do Yash Nyman, who he ended up retiring.
Where he come from?
What you mean? Well, he played with us.
Packer.
Well,
you're Packer too.
Yeah, but he played with us for a good few years. Backup,
trying to hit the bell twice.
Backup lineman. He was actually at right tackle was actually decent. But left tackles where he had a lot of problems. I don't really could see him doing that. But again, could he be a stand-in serviceable? Because I don't know when. I think Icky will get back probably the top first. I think they're hoping it's gonna be earlier. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 5, 6, 7 games in the season. I think they're thinking it's gonna be hopefully a little earlier than that. But you get somebody in Walker who again has made 40-some starts. Can go out there and again just hold his own. He asks you to be great. He's actually pretty if you look at his career last year, pretty comparable to Icky. It looked like Icky's the best player in the world. Icky had a better year last year, but the year before that, Icky was horrible. So I mean. He's pretty comparable in win rate and all that kind of stuff over the last couple of years. You need somebody serviceable there that ain't gonna get Bryce killed. They ain't saying run. As long as he ain't doing that, you're great. Again, and I'm hoping in the draft we go get, I can't remember his name, buddy from that tight end in Oregon, because our tight end our tight ends are terrible. But that gives you an opportunity to go tight end. Gives you an opportunity if you want to address the offensive line, you could do that. If you still want to go edge rusher or linebacker, you can do a lot of different things now when you shore up this the old tackle position. So good job from my Carolina Panthers. And again, I'm excited about the year. We'll keep going.
So if I take my bias out of it, Walker's not, and so and I wish y'all could see our text there because it's pretty hilarious. Like I laugh all day at it. It's just funny, man. Troy. Troy. Lord have mercy. Thinking about who Troy about to beat Nebraska in this first round. Give you a sleeper pick. Troy is sending Nebraska home. No one believes in Nebraska in their state in anything. Anyways. So if I look at Walker as his totality as a Green Bay Packer, he was a great Packer. Had a great career. 7th round draft pick. Gutekunst knocked it out the park, drafted him. However, when you look at his second half of the season, and you look at more importantly, you look at the second half of that Chicago Bears playoff game, the Green Bay Packers single-handedly lost that game because of him. He didn't hold his protection ever, but it's all good. Hey, man, I hope the best for him, man. I hope the best for you, but it's gonna be a murderous road. You come into Green Bay, and we might get Cream City crossover live at the Packers and Panthers game in Green Bay this year. And you go have, and my dream scenario is to have a Bucks game that Friday, a Badgers game that Saturday, Sunday, and then we go home Monday night. You bring him, and he got to face Micah, or he got to face Van Ness. Might be barbecue chicken, man. But hey man, it's a good signing for you because you need it. And is Walker the worst left tackle in the league? Absolutely not. Just the good thing about Bryce is he's a little bit younger than Jordan, so when he yells run, he can scoot.
Yeah, get up out of there.
No, man, but hey, a lot of good signings, man. I really like the Green Bay Packers bringing in Sky Moore, man. I feel like we really needed a good punt returner, kick returner. Like that's something that we've been lacking for a while. We've put Josh Jacobs back there, Keyshawn Nixon, whoever the case may be. So I think that's something that's going to separate us. We're going to see, man. You got a couple few weeks. It's a lot of good guys out there. Calais Campbell's out there. Bobby Wagner, Ladarius Sneed. I think the Tennessee Titans just released someone.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good corners out there. Green Bay definitely needs corner help, I feel like. Maybe we call the Guru back to play corner for us.
There you go.
I'm sure you can do better than them. Caleb Williams, throw the ball up and whatever.
Well, that was the thing. Well, another thing about Walker, I said too, I believe it's a 1 year, $10 million deal. So I think that's, they got him. I think there was a thought that he was going to get a little more than that. And so, you get him on a relatively decent deal. So I'm not upset about that at all. Hey, yeah, man. Like I said, there's a lot to be left to see how this thing goes to the rest of the offseason as well as the draft. I do one more question here. Issa Fall 2555 says, if Ime Udoka gets fired by the Rockets, would you take him over Doc? I would take a traffic cone over Doc any day. Yeah, I would. And again, but the only thing I'm saying is, and I'll be real quick, it goes to show you, as much as people pick, I want this guy, that guy. Nick Nurse, Philly fans haven't been as excited and happy about the job he's done. Everybody wanted the Bucks. Kenny Atkinson, good as he's been with Cleveland, I know Cleveland fans that have not been the most thrilled with the job that he's done. Ime Udoka, why are we talking about getting fired with the Rockets? Because they're Rockets fans who don't think he's done the job he can. So again, I get it. All of them better than Doc Rivers. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, not necessarily buyer beware, but it's one of those things where just because somebody else, we should have got, you probably would be complaining about those guys too. I promise you, about every coach gets some type of complaints because that's just the nature of it. When the team's losing, people like to complain about the head coach and Ime Udoka, Kenny Atkinson, David Adelman, who he chew on gobstoppers for a living out there in Denver. And all those guys, it don't matter who you are, you're gonna catch Chris Finch out in Minnesota. They don't win this year. You don't think Chris Finch is gonna get some heat if Minnesota has some issues in the playoffs this year? 100%. You don't think JJ Redick? And again, LA is starting to play much better. You don't think at some point, if they don't play well, they're gonna get some heat. At some point, you're going to catch some heat. If all these coaches. Listen, look at the Knicks. The Knicks gave Thibodeau up to go get what's my man name? Milk Dud. What's
Sacramento.
Mike Brown. They went to go get
Mike Brown.
go get Mike Brown. Are they any better than what they were? I don't know. I don't know if they're any better right now than they were under Thibodeau. So again, teams change coaches just to do it, and again, I will agree. All those guys much better than Doc Rivers, but we'll see how this thing turns out with the Bucks and their coach. Again, I'm hoping Doc isn't back next year, but that's all I got on that.
I hope we get someone in, if we're going to get someone in, that is young, innovative, like a Charles Lee type guy that's just a student of the game that can create a creative offense and defense. But just remember, man, we had a great coach here, and y'all ran him out of town. He's the one that put the basketball in Giannis' hand and told him to be there. And then Jabari Parker and Guy Star Kid, who then took, air quote, y'all words, not my words, a fat Luka to the NBA.
But again, I will say again, there is a, when you look at him, but again, I will say again, there is a, when you look at Ime Udoka, there's a way his teams play. And now again, I will say this too. I think the one unsung person they're missing, Dylan Brooks. And you take him away from that basketball, that's a different, I think that has hurt them a little bit. But the Ime Udoka teams, they play hard. They're gonna commit to defense. They're gonna commit to doing some of the, they're gonna commit to doing a lot of the dirt. I think again, you will see that if he was here, a lot of the little things that the Bucks just don't do the little things, and I think just so many times it's the small things all the time, the attention to details that for whatever reason they just don't do. And I think that I think anybody will change that, but I think especially a guy Ime Udoka would do it. Charles Lee, man, I wish we had Charles Lee. Again, another guy that's not working anymore right now. I think what's the man name used to be a coach for the Bucks too, and was in Memphis.
Taylor Jenkins.
Jenkins, yeah.
Taylor Jenkins.
I'd be cool with Taylor Jenkins.
I forgot who said it the other day, and I hate to not give you your credit, but I was in 100% agreement with them. I think it's time for a guy like a Dudley, a Sam Cassell, someone like that to get an opportunity. I'd love to see Sam Cassell come here. Giannis wants to play with a guy that played in the league. There you go. Not only did you play with a guy, but you played with one of the original big three that we had in Milwaukee. And I think hopefully with some of the stuff that he's learned all around this league, because he's been a part of a lot of winning cultures, but you may see some of the same Doc philosophies because he's on Doc's staff for a little brief time too. So we'll see. But hey, man, it'll be exciting. I just want to see Doc kind of go off into the sunset, retire as a Hall of Famer that he deserves to be. He had a phenomenal coaching career, but these last few years in Milwaukee have been futile. And it's sad to see a legend fall that bad. And I think that's why you see guys when Phil Jackson knew it was time to call it quits. And even the Jeff Van Gundy, like I know he's an assistant now, and Stan and some of these guys, maybe they have the opportunity to come back and coach a team like your Phoenix Suns at a time or your insert bad team here, Washington Wizards, but they stay away because they don't want that legacy to be tarnished. And I think I really want to push back on a lot of y'all, but I can't. They call Doc the team killer, and you look at this team. One last thing, Trey, you talked about a lot of coaches getting criticism. Just not only forget, we ran away Jason Kidd, we also ran away Dr. Griffin, and he received criticism for being 31-13. And that's the last thing we'll say about the doctor, because I know that's a whole 30 minutes longer. We're going to miss the baseball game.
Yeah, let's get you out of here so we can check out this baseball game. Good stuff. Appreciate it. We'll answer more stuff next. Come check us out on Tuesday. Pickle Luke. We'll talk about whatever you got at the end. Appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the super chats. We appreciate everything you had to say. If you watch us on YouTube or Twitter, wherever you saw us, if you see this on the replay again, we appreciate it a tremendous amount. Again, if you are ready for this bracket challenge, hit that like button on your way out. If you didn't hit it on the way in, gonna have some fun. We'll definitely be ready with that. Be on the lookout at TCIIYEE for the link. It will be out soon. Let's see, man. Again, we thank you for joining us today. Again, hit that like button, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Please take this video, send it out to your friends, your family, all that good stuff. Let them know about the Cream City crossover. Again, if you could, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend about the Cream City crossover. It is the best Milwaukee Bucks Postgame Show in all of the land. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Group.